Can I see your phone?
No.
Can I have a seat?
Why?
I just want to build a detailed picture of who you are, your emails, your texts, your call history, your photos.
Do you understand how weird that is, though?
Hacking people's phones and having a browse.
You can't hack people's phones.
Just logging onto your bank account.
What?
I'm just having a look. We've got something to hide.
No, I haven't got anything to hide, but I don't want you to take my data.
So I'm just hacking your server. Why can't I have your communications data?
Yo, you're in the Home Office.
I know, but I'm just here to get your data.
Who are you?
Well, the question is, who are you? And that's what I need to find out.
Police officer. Now, who are you?
Why would we show you our communications data?
Well, why would you not? That's the
Because I don't know
question.
who you are.
Entertaining scenes, part of a campaign from British civil rights group Liberty against a very serious matter. The UK's new mass surveillance law, the Investigatory Powers Act, which has been dubbed the Snoopers Charter. It's aimed at reinforcing the fight against organised crime and terrorism and gives police and intelligence services unprecedented powers over the population's communications data, as well as to a long list of public services ranging from the Food Standards Agency to the National Health Service and the Department for Work and Pensions.
Our communications data, who we email, who we call, who we text and when, and all of our internet activity can be accessed for non-serious crime purposes. There isn't even the need to identify the targets of surveillance powers. So police and intelligence agencies can hack a computer or hack thousands of computers without needing to identify who the targets are. In addition, they don't have to notify the targets of surveillance after the conduct has taken place, which means that there will be thousands of people that may have had their private lives intruded on, their phones hacked, their calls intercepted, that don't know about it and that never will.
Among the most controversial measures, phone operators and internet service providers may be required to retain the browsing history of all users for a year and make the data available to the police and security services, powers deemed excessive by the European Court of Justice, which condemned the universal and indiscriminate retention of data. A ruling that could force the British government to amend the law while the UK remains in the EU. David Anderson, the independent reviewer of UK anti-terror legislation, assessed the usefulness of bulk collection powers. He admits safeguards to ensure privacy can be improved, but says universal data retention can help keep people safe.
Every power that the police and the intelligence services use or want to use in this country is now set out very clearly in black and white. That hasn't been true before. It's not true in most countries in the world. And my conclusions, based on about 60 detailed case studies, were that these powers are really useful. For example, in cyber defense against hostile foreign powers, in hostage situations or missing persons investigations, and of course for the investigation of serious crime.
The effectiveness of mass data surveillance is controversial. In 2013, the murder of British soldier Lee Rigby on the streets of London by two Islamic extremists shocked the nation. The men were known to the intelligence services, which held phone records and an online message describing their sinister intention. But the information had been missed. Several classified intelligence reports, earlier disclosed by whistleblower Edward Snowden, had stated that the UK's spy agency's surveillance capabilities were such that they were drowning in data, far more than they had the resources to analyse.
Whether the intelligence services, the police like here at Scotland Yard, or the Home Office, the doors stayed closed to our interview requests, just like those of the Investigatory Powers Tribunal, which investigates on police and spy agencies. Even its address is kept secret. What we do know is that in recent years, the number of complaints has steadily increased. And with the new law, judges are likely to have more and more work.
Police surveillance has been shadowing Jason Parkinson's life for years. His work as a journalist has earned him a place on a secret Scotland Yard database to monitor so-called domestic terrorists, along with several of his colleagues. They accessed their files under the Data Protection Act and launched legal action. Alongside the National Union of Journalists, Jason campaigns against the new surveillance law that he says is a major threat to journalists and their sources.
Intelligence should be focusing on the things that really are a threat to the public and to this country. Spying on things because it's holding your government to account. That's heading down a very dangerous route. More importantly, the people who are the whistleblowers are not going to have those protections anymore. They're going to be fearful of contacting a journalist to blow the whistle on something that they're seeing going wrong because they know they're going to get caught.
In addition to being intrusive, the law is technically complex and costly to implement, say the phone companies and internet service providers. And its effectiveness is questionable, points out the head of one of the ISPs campaigning against the so-called Snoopers Charter. Encryption and virtual private networks are just some of the ways to bypass surveillance. Used, among others, by journalists and human rights activists, they are also familiar to criminals.
There's a real risk that all this work goes in, all this money is spent, and it doesn't actually help. It's easy to see how criminals can bypass this, and ordinary people concerned over their privacy will learn to. The best we can do as an ISP is to try and keep our customers informed and educated. We're happy to help. We can help them set up encrypted emails. And it's not anti-government here. The government are on the same side of the fence as the criminals. They are trying to snoop on your traffic and intercept what you're doing. So it's the same methods to protect yourself from criminals as it is to protect yourself from this.